Our next guest is going to discuss how you can turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Please welcome the creator of bridebod.com, Alli Ferguson.
Welcome to the show, Alli. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Very hot topic today. Of course, everyone wants to figure out how to be more fit, especially how to look better, right, physically. And today you're going to tell us about the chemistry or some way to turn your body into what you call a fat furnace.
Yes.
Or what I call like a fat burning furnace, which is very appealing to a lot of people. But I think before we get to that, we should learn a little bit about you. You just turned 40 this year.
I did. Thanks for spilling that.
Welcome to 40. You look amazing.
Thank you.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Thanks.
I would have never guessed that you were 40.
Most don't, but now everybody that watches it, they're already going to know.
Everyone's going to know
Thanks.
now. But it's a compliment because I follow you on social media. That's how we got here today. I think you're very inspirational, motivational, clearly doing something right. I mean, you look amazing.
Thanks.
So people want to know, like, well, what do I need to do? I mean, do I have to be in the gym for 3 hours a day, or like, what is the way to do it? So tell us sort of a little bit about yourself, your history, and how you got here.
So how I actually got into the fitness arena was being a chubby kid growing up, and I hated it and wanted to get past it, so I figured I had better learn this for myself. So my freshman year of college at UCI, I went and got certified as a personal trainer. So I've been doing this for over 20 years. And I started learning more and more about it. Now, I was a biology major, so when I got to the biochemistry class, it was literally my favorite class because I figured out this is how we can burn fat. That's what I want to know. I don't care about anything else in the class. I only want to know fatty acid oxidation cycle. And so I understood it at a level that none of the personal training programs were addressing. They had all this accepted wisdom, but I was learning it at a completely different level. And so I just started embracing it and moving forward, and I got better and better at it. And when I was at the club, I was the top trainer in the club because I got my clients the best results and it fit within their lifestyle. So a few years ago, I actually got to the point where I created BrideBod, which is my virtual personal training platform. So now I can train anybody anywhere in the country without having to be physically present with them. So it's got a lot of advantages to it, and I'm really excited about it.
So you said something about the chemistry, and I know that's a big thing with you. Are you kind of like more of a chemist here than a personal trainer? I mean, it's not some Breaking Bad stuff here.
No, definitely not Breaking Bad, and you won't find me in the kitchen messing around with different solutions, but you would find me in the kitchen messing around with different ways of cooking that could accelerate the progress. So, and I've created my own recipes and things like that, and I have a great time doing that. That's my creative outlet. But no, I'm not a chemist. Actually, chemistry was not my favorite class. Biochemistry was.
Biochemistry.
Yeah.
So I remember Food Science and Nutrition 101 at the University of Missouri, Columbia in the late 1990s. And I remember this very clearly because there was a test question about what is the best and most efficient way to burn lipid material in the body, or to burn fat. And the answer was weightlifting. So
that's part of it.
I always remember that. Now, of course, that's not the only way to burn it, but that was the most efficient way.
It is half the equation, for sure. And that was the accepted wisdom, too. Well, the other part of it was do a lot of cardio and you'll burn more calories, but the problem is you won't sustain that calorie burning long term unless you're lifting weights, and you have to lift heavy enough to really build lean mass, which is true. And when you do that, your body releases HGH. That's the fat burning hormone that you really want, and that also gets released while you sleep, so you have to get good sleep as well. But yes, weight training is a huge part of it. The problem with just saying I'm going to go walk into the gym and I'm going to pick up some weights and I'm going to throw them around and see if I can burn some of this fat off is you can severely injure yourself if you do it incorrectly, and you can end up with chronic joint issues over time. So that's why I created the personal training platform, because people really need to know how to do that effectively, but it's critical to a really good fat furnace.
Okay, and I'm going to make you spill the beans on that very soon.
Okay.
I just have some questions first that I think might help lead up to that other people might be thinking too.
Okay.
Because I think anyone who's gone out and lost some weight at any point in time has figured out that it's a lot diet. Like, a lot has to do with what you eat. I mean, I know people who go do personal training sessions every morning of the week, and they're not getting anywhere, you know, from like a weight perspective or from how they look perspective. And so we know that the diet has got to be a big chunk of what's going to help someone transform their physical body, right?
Right. It's about half the equation. It's not 80-20 like everybody thinks it is.
That's what a lot of people think. It's 90%
I
diet.
don't know where that number came from. Somebody thought of it one day and somebody went, that's good. I'm going to blame it all on the food that I eat. But see, you can't train hard enough to undo what you put in your mouth. And you can't diet your way into being lean and fit. They go together. And they go together so well that if you do them both correctly, it's easy. It's easy to get lean because you just change your genes around.
Change your genes.
Yeah.
Not your...
It's called epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. Is Deepak Chopra in the lobby? Is he ready to come in and talk about this? So, all right, let's start going there then. Because you're saying that you have come up with a way to turn your body into a fat furnace.
I didn't come up with it. The body did it.
You figured out how to tap into the body's potential.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about it.
I'm piggybacking on some great research. So the last 20 years, I've been living my life a certain way, eating a certain way, and I knew what that was doing biochemically to me, but there wasn't a lot of research that really supported that until I came across this company that has a lot of research, and I can bring it up in a minute. But epigenetics is the study of, and we don't have all the answers in epigenetics right now, by the way, but it's the study of how the food that we eat actually changes our gene expression. So while everybody thinks, well, that person's just got fat burning genes and I've got fat storage genes, you actually have both. It just depends on what you're putting in your body and how it's, because your metabolism is in your gut, how you're treating it to get it to express the fat burning ones and turn off the fat storage genes.
And does that have to do with what you're eating or how you're eating it?
Yes, both, and when you're eating it. So I know that sounds far more complicated, but...
No, we want to know.
We want to know, okay. So a lot of it has to do with your gut flora, the good bacteria and bad bacteria, right? Most of us have too much bad bacteria. Antibiotics, all the things that happen, just like normal everyday life. More of the good bacteria gets killed off and more of the bad bacteria sticks around. That's why people get sweet tooths. It's actually the bad bacteria sending a signal up to your brain that says, feed me, Seymour, I want sugar. And then we go, I have a food craving for sugar. So it's actually not something that your body needs. You don't actually need sugar. In fact, your body doesn't really want you to have it. That's why we end up with chronic diseases like diabetes. So what happens is if we can turn that gut flora back around where the good bacteria is leading the charge, what it actually does is it feeds off of the fiber that you're eating and it turns it into short-chain fatty acids. You cannot consume short-chain fatty acids. This bacteria has to create them. So there's 3 of them: butyrate, propionate, and acetate. I told you I could get way too technical, didn't I?
Please do. No.
And those 3 short-chain fatty acids actually go back and signal the fat burning gene to turn on and turn off the fat storage gene. Now, that only gets released inside the intestine, and you have to have the right probiotics to be able to do it. I've only come across one company that has the right probiotic to do it, though, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, only one company.
One company has the right probiotic.
Yeah, it's this company, Silver Fern.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their probiotic right there. And they even produced this magazine, which is great. But Silver Fern has all this research. They have a microbiologist that loves bacteria, apparently, that came to them and said, you've got a great sweetener, but you're missing part of the story. And if we added this probiotic in, this could do amazing things for people. Well, it's doing a lot of really healthful things and not just making their bodies lean, but actually it has the possibility to really eliminate autoimmune disorders and irritable bowel disorders, all those kinds of issues that some people really, really suffer from.
Wow. So
I'm more excited about the health benefits than just the lean body benefits that people will get from it.
that's what I'm wondering. Like, so this is it a pill? Is it a powder or? It's
just a little capsule. And the amazing thing is, and this is what I was sharing with them, because I have a master's in counseling psychology also. And there's a lot of people. I used to have clients in the club that, I remember one in particular, she had IBS. And so we'd do a couple of sets and then she'd run to the bathroom. And we'd do a couple more sets and she'd run to the bathroom. Can you imagine what your life is like when you're constantly running to the bathroom? She didn't have a boyfriend. She couldn't hold down a serious relationship. So if she could change that and not be on any drugs, completely naturally alter that reality for herself, can you imagine how freeing that would be for all of those people that are suffering from those kinds of conditions? They're psychologically limiting. It could really change people's lives.
And so is that just a consequence? Because in other words, there are other ailments that can come from this having the wrong chemistry in your gut.
Yeah, autoimmune disorders are a big part of it too. So is diabetes. Heart disease comes from sugar, not from consuming cholesterol or fat. So not eating sugar, then that's where their sweetener comes in really handy, because it's a healthy sugar that's got fiber in it, and that fiber that's in their sweetener, the probiotic actually eats it. And that's what creates the short chain fatty acids. So that alters the gene expression, and then when you go in and you train hard in the gym, now you're getting HGH release, and if you add in a little intermittent fasting, where instead of jumping out of bed and going straight for breakfast because it's supposed to be the most important meal of the day, it's not.
It's not?
It's not, especially if you intermittently fast, because that will cause more HGH production, which will cause more fat burning.
What do you mean by intermittently fast?
That phrase has taken on a whole lot of meanings with a lot of different people, especially fitness people. So it really just means that you need 12 to 18 hours of not eating food. So starting from dinner to, usually throughout the night. That's a better time to do it. And then train in the morning, right? Hit the weights while you're in the fasting stage, which will cause more HGH production. And at the end of the day, it really boils down to HGH triggering a lot of that fat burning as well.
So you need to lift weights in the morning before you eat.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet very few people are doing that.
Probably. Probably.
What about, now when you say fast, does that mean not drinking anything either, or just water?
No, water. I drink coffee before I go to the gym, and that's fine because that also triggers more fat burning too.
Okay.
So
you can have a cup of coffee.
I have a lot of coffee, at least in the morning. Yeah, because I want to have the most intense workout that I possibly can.
So you said 12 to 18 hours. Is more better on that fast?
It is, actually. The longer you fast for, and this is probably 5 days a week, the longer you fast for, the more HGH is produced. Now, I didn't realize that that's what I was actually doing back in my 20s. I was just too dang busy to eat, working 4 jobs, going to school full time. So it just happened that way, but there's the science to back it up now.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
I know.
How about that? That's fascinating stuff, by the way. Really, really cool. And congratulations to you on everything, the virtual personal training. What's it called again?
Bridebod.com is the first site that's launched. And then Bod by Alli is the overall brand. And we'll have other sites for men and things, other people as well.
Too, yay.
Well, I've had a lot of men ask me if they could train with me, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll make a site for you guys.
Of course.
They can go on Bridebod and train as long as they don't mind looking at pictures of women.
Of course, we don't mind that.
And although I haven't met a single man that doesn't like women,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, everyone likes women. It's that simple.
Pretty much.
So anything else that you think would be good for people to know in conjunction with this message? And of course, we'll have links up on the screen about what it is that we're discussing here and where people can find it and whatnot. So you don't have to worry about that. But as far as like other macro ideas, or like you said, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. That was a big one. That it makes sense. I understand why that's happening, and I've never been a huge fan of breakfast. So I think it'll be easy for me to do your fasting and attempt that. Anything else we should know? Yeah, high protein, low carbohydrates, no sugar. Fruits and vegetables are fine, but most people don't also get enough protein. And so you need enough so that your body can actually utilize that instead of your own muscle tissue when it's trying to make those pesky little things like cells and hair and nails and rebuild the muscle tissue that you're going to go tear down in the gym when you hit it really hard. Okay. So most people don't get enough protein. I would say 1 gram per pound of body weight is a minimum. Per day? Per day. 1 gram per pound. Yeah. So if I'm 210 pounds, you say I need 210 grams of protein. Right. If I'm lifting heavy.
I would say that you would need that. If you're lifting really heavy, you might even need more.
Okay.
So this is going to be like a pound of meat a day, generally speaking, pound
Dang.
of actual protein, or protein powders and things like that. I know, right? And I'm a big protein lover, so I don't have a problem with it. But
well, it's working for you. Alli,
thanks.
thank you so much for your time today. Really
Thank
appreciate
you so
it.
much
Thanks
for having
coming
me.
in. Well, now you know how to turn your body into a fat-burning furnace. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.